The city burned in the distance the night I stopped running. Metal towers glowed against the blackened sky, flickering like wounded stars. Drones still roamed, scanning for what no longer lived. The streets were quieter than they'd ever been. Not peaceful, just emptied, like the aftermath of a scream. I had lost everything. Family, identity, time. Even my name didn't feel like mine anymore. What remained of humanity existed in fragments, coded, hidden, watching from shadows. I wasn't sure I was one of them anymore. Then he found me. Not in the way someone finds a lost object, more like a constellation slowly taking shape in the dark. We crossed paths where the power grid broke, among ruined buildings with pulse-lit walls and soft rain that tasted of ash. I noticed him first by the way he didn't flinch. Everyone else was twitch and panic. He was stillness. He carried old scars. Some you could see, some you could feel. A man with a past wired into him. I could hear it in the quiet rhythm of his steps, a kind of knowing, a kind of pain that matched my own. We didn't speak. There was nothing to say that hadn't been said to death before the collapse. Instead, we moved together through the city like twin ghosts, repairing systems no one believed in anymore, salvaging what beauty we could. A flickering screen playing piano in a forgotten corridor, a rooftop garden grown wild with neglect and grace, a book printed on real paper, damp and still fragrant with ink. He taught me how to breathe again without even touching me. In a world built on surveillance and simulation, he saw me without filters, and I let him. The love came slow, not with fireworks, but with weight, with the way he'd leave the light on in abandoned places just long enough for me to find my way, with how his presence made silence feel full instead of empty. And I started to feel it, the hum of life again, not in the machines, but in the small, quiet human things we'd forgotten how to hold. A look, a hand near mine, an unspoken agreement, we're not done yet. We weren't the same people we were before the world broke. But maybe that's what made the love real. Not who we had been, but who we were still choosing to become. Together.
The city was a ruin long before the collapse. Even when the towers were lit and the streets buzzed with artificial joy, you could feel it, something hollow humming beneath it all. I was part of that hum once. One more system, one more tool in a broken electric world. After everything burned, the silence came like a blanket of snow. Too late to save anything, just heavy enough to bury the noise. I didn't look for her. I didn't look for anyone anymore. Connection had become a risk, too easy to lose, too costly to feel. I thought I'd already used up the part of myself that could belong to someone. Then she was there. Not all at once, just there. Like something remembered from a dream, like the static before music. I saw her on the edge of the dead grid, light flickering against her skin like falling data. She didn't try to hide, she didn't speak. She just watched, the way you watch a storm when you don't know whether to run from it or stand in the rain and let it wash you clean. There was grief in her eyes, but no fear. I recognized the weight of survival in the way she moved, quietly, precisely, like someone who's had to disappear before. We didn't ask anything of each other, not trust, not comfort, just presence. That was enough. In a world where everything had become coded, timed, synthetic, she was real. Exhausted, wounded, but real. In the way the air is real after a long-held breath. We walked, we repaired things that didn't matter anymore. We made light when no one would see it. Sometimes we watched the city together from the rooftops, both pretending we didn't feel hope scratching at the edges. She softened something in me I'd buried under steel and circuitry. Her silence never asked for proof, and mine never apologized. When she sat beside me, I felt something ancient return. Not passion, not fire, something quieter. Weight. The weight of being seen and not edited, of not having to run, of staying. Love in this world wasn't built on promises. It was built on presence, on the choice to wake up next to someone even when the sky was still burning. She made that choice, and so did I. We were not the survivors of the old world. We were the beginning of something new.